All right, then. Welcome in, everybody. I am Pugs Moran. These are the Kelly Moore Memorial Studios, and this is talk radio for normal people. That's right. Are you normal? Well, here's how you decide whether you're normal or not. Are you do you see everything through a political lens? Is everything about, either your favorite guy or the evils on the other side? If you are one of those people, this is not a talk show for you. It's a talk show for normal people. Normal people who have ease at taking any individual aspect, issue, scandal, whatever, and just processing it like a normal person, not a Kool-Aid drinking slave to either right-wing ideology or left-wing ideology. We are normal people here, and we get together every day. We're not all normal. We got some people in the chat room who I'm working on, who I'm trying to get to be more normal. We love them nonetheless. You know why we love them? Because we're normal people. We're normal people. We don't stop talking to our uncle because he didn't vote the way we did. Those are the tenets of this show. Okay. We try and figure. Here's what we do with our uncle. We shrug our shoulders, we roll our eyes, and we go, Unc always been Unc, right? That's who they are. We still love them. They still came to our T-ball games. They still loaned us $20 when we needed it. But no, now all of a sudden, because Uncle Shitstirrer showed up in that red hat to Thanksgiving, now you can't talk to him anymore. Well, guess who the asshole is? Both of you. That's right. Sorry, Unc, you're the asshole for showing up in the red hat, and you are the asshole for thinking that that's a deal breaker when it comes to people who are your blood, your family. All right, so we've established that. We are normal people. Hi, Jeffy. Jeffy is in the chat room. He says normal is overrated. He is not normal. Sports Bras are here. We did a little Shock House last night. Always enjoy doing Shock House Dallas, another offering weekly every Wednesday night. CC, me, and Keith, we do a little sports talk. Figuring out what that is. It's fun, though. I'm still enjoying doing it. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, my big passion project of the moment, did he or didn't he, ladies and gentlemen, did he or didn't he, which I record every single day here, and I promise to record every single day that the trial is in session. Diddy being accused of all kinds of crazy, freaky things. Still not sure that the prosecution is making the case, but you can hear my thoughts in it. We break down all of the testimony, all of that stuff every day right here, radiomisfits.com, wherever you get your podcasts, radiomisfits.com. You want to watch the video of it? Fine. I get it. We are shooting video. It is a video show. You can go to Radio Misfits on YouTube or Radio Misfits on Facebook. You can watch it there, follow, subscribe, all of that kind of stuff. Or you can just, do it as a podcast, which is how I've been enjoying it. These shows that we've been doing here every day at noon, the Rant with me and you, my good friends in the chat room, this has all been very intimate for a couple of years. And I have slowly begun to play to the cameras and really just play to the, people in the chat room. But upon listening to the Diddy trial coverage that I've been doing, I've been listening to those on Spotify as a podcast, and God, do I love that more. I just so love the podcast more. Yeah, sometimes it's interesting to see what somebody's wearing, I guess, but I just feel as a communicator, you can do so much more with just the way you tell a story, the way you let it on, the way your voice, the way your cadence. I love that theater of the mind. So I'm really getting into that later. Oh, hi, Adam. Adam's in the chat room. What's Adam saying? Is Adam going to make me mad? Let's say hi to some chat room folks before we get started. Okay, the first thing Adam says is hola, but then he probably gets right into some shit. Let's see. What does Adam say? He says, I don't talk to my sister because she's a hateful person. Thinks gay people have mental illness. Well, she's wrong. She's your sister. And I don't know, man. Look, that's your choice. That's your life choice. You got a whole bunch of other baggage that probably goes into this decision. So, all right. I'm not saying that there is no reason to cut off people in your family or even longtime friends. Sometimes people, turn out to be, hey, man, I was friends with Chloe. Chloe was a guy. Chloe was a guy I worked with. Everybody loved Chloe. Sad to say, I've cut Chloe off. Chloe has been convicted of some things that nobody saw coming. So, I can't judge. What else does Adam have to say? He says, we even have a gay cousin, so it's kind of ridiculous. Was she mean? Is she openly mean to the gay cousin, or is she like one way with the gay cousin where everything's cool, but then, she goes on her Reddit thread and starts talking about how, the gays is loot. I don't know. We all have these things. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Let's get started with the show. Again, like, follow, subscribe, Radio Misfits to stay up to date. It's up to date. Stay up to date on all of the Diddy trial stuff. Cassie's on the trial today. This is going to be a big one. I'm doing today's Diddy or Didn't He alone. Yesterday it was me and James. Supposed to be me, James, and Head Crack from Dish Network. Dish Nation. Why do I always say Dish Network? Dish Nation. That's why. It's a difficult name. Crack was supposed to be with us last night, but it was his kid's birthday. And I forgot that, so he wasn't. So it was me and James. Tonight, I think it's just going to be me because I have some real thoughts on the cross-examination of Cassandra Ventura. Cassie Ventura. Cassie. We'll call her Cassie. I have some real thoughts on how that was handled this morning, and it's still going on as best as I can tell. So it's going to be just me offering blow by blow of what was testified to in day 4 of the Diddy trial. Tomorrow, it's going to be just me as well. And then on Monday, it'll be a full-on panel, and we'll break down all of these things. There's going to be a whole lot of stuff to get to on Monday, so I think that's going to be a better panel show. All right, so that's how we're doing it. All episodes can be heard every evening. They get uploaded there to RadioMisfits.com, Radio Misfits on YouTube, Radio Misfits on Facebook, or just Radio Misfits wherever you get your podcasts. Like I said, I listen to it on Spotify. You don't need to hear me coughing. Excuse me. All right, let's see here. Let's get into the show. What do we do here on this show? Well, we break down all the day's events. I tell you about it's just a little thing about today. What is today? Today is the 15th day of May. So we'll go through some history in a little segment we call Antecedently on this day. Some things that happened on this day. Not a lot, but some. You may have noticed I'm sort of paring down these first 3 segments. Birthdays, we'll talk about a few birthdays. People who are celebrities, historical figures, whatever, whoever they are. If they're people we've heard of, they're having a birthday today, we decide, are we going to their party or not? Peter Brady style. I don't like that person. I ain't going to his party. Quarter 3, segment 3, whatever you're comfortable calling it. We call that the deads. Those are people who died on this day. Again, short list, usually 2 or 3 people. We look at them. We say they died on this day. We talk about what they contributed while they were here and decide where'd they go. They go to heaven or they go to hell. My voice is still cached. This is week 1 of me doing all of these shows and all of these recordings, going all in, baby. Week 1. My voice is cached, but it's kind of holding together. So, all right. And then quarter 4 is all the hot topics and just, stuff that's going on that we should talk about today. All right. So without further ado, what do you say we get started here? I am Pugs Moran. As I say, this is the Kelly Moore Memorial Studios. It is the 15th day of May, year of our Lord, 2025. Why the pause, you're wondering? Pugs, why the pause? Well, it's because Google Drive is buffering. It just means that this page in my Google Drive is too big, and that's fair. It's been the notes for every show for the last 6 months. So there's when I hit this page on Google Drive to have my flow chart of what I'm going to talk about today, I think it's time to start a new page. It's just taking way too long to load. It's an inconvenience for sure, but it is not their fault. All right, the 15th day of May, year of our Lord, 2025. It's the 135th day of the year. Did you know? There's only 230 more of these remaining until the end of the year. So get those New Year's Eve plans started. All right, let's get started with quarter 1. Segment 1, whatever you want to call it. Antecedently on this day, these are events that have helped shape our understanding of previous May 15th. Oh, it's hot. It's like day 2 of 100 degrees here in North Texas in the studio. Oh my God. The studio is going to be inoperable come June. I say mid-June. Hold on. Something weird is happening with my phone. I got to try and figure this out. What is the current temperature? That's a good one. Current temperature, 93 degrees. All right, let's go. Let's go hotter. Antecedently on this day in the year 1807, opening of the first private mental hospital. That's right, they used to call them loony bins. Used to have these mental insane asylums where they'd throw crazy people. Now they just live on the streets and beg us for money, and we're afraid to say no because we don't know. Did this person stab their whole family back in the 80s and now they're just living on the streets? It's the world we live in. Don't think about it. It'll be fine. This particular asylum that was opened on this day in 1817 is still in operation. It is now known as Friends Hospital of Philadelphia. Don't want to check in there. I bet you that place is awful. Opened in 1817, still operating. Used to be a mental asylum. Now I think it's just a regular old hospital. Antecedently on this day in the year 1891, Pope Leo XIII. Why is this important? Why am I mentioning this? Because this is the Pope that Pope Leo XIV is going to try to emulate. Pope Leo XIV, their brand new Pope, just a week in office. I don't know. He has taken a name. It's important to know who the popes choose their name after because it is supposed to be an indication of how they see their place in the, history of the papacy. So Leo XIII on this day defends workers' rights and property rights in the encyclical Rerum Novarium. This is the beginning of the modern Catholic social teachings. This is why a lot of Catholic nerds, a lot of Catholic wonks were very excited when they heard that Leo, the new Pope, Leo XIV, was going to emulate Leo XIII. Because Leo XIII was a cool guy. Leo XIII wasn't one of these Da Vinci Code popes. Leo XIII, back there in 1891, was actually kind of a modern dude who started to see that there was a separation among the flock. There were those with and those without. And Pope Leo XIII was the first pope to really take up for the working man, which is a good indication of how Leo XIV is going to work. And how else would you expect a guy from the south side of Chicago to be than stick up for the working man? On this day, Pope Leo defends workers' rights. 1891. On this day in 1905, the city of Las Vegas is founded. Hey, happy birthday, Vegas. On this day in 1940, Dick and Mo McDonald opened the very first McDonald's restaurant. It's a great idea, Dick and Mo, but it would be stolen by Ray Kroc. Ray Kroc, that dude who's going to show up at your door trying to sell you a milkshake maker. And then he's going to notice that you guys are selling a lot of milkshakes. Okay, beware of that guy. He's going to screw you. Well, actually, I don't know if you should beware of him. Because McDonald's is pretty great. Like what Ray Kroc built when he stole the idea of McDonald's from Dick and Mo McDonald. What Ray Kroc built, I don't know if that's what Dick and Mo would have built. Best case scenario, Dick and Mo might have had like 5 restaurants on the West Coast somewhere. Instead, we got Ray Kroc's vision. Tell you, man, whatever. If Dick and Mo can promise me that eventually they would have gotten to a place where they're introducing the Filet-O-Fish, then I'm okay with them. But Ray Kroc made the Filet-O-Fish. Good sandwich. Antecedently on this day in the year 1963, Project Mercury, the very last of the Project Mercury missions, it would be on to Gemini and Apollo. On this day in 1963, Project Mercury, the launch of the final Mercury mission, Mercury Atlas 9, with Gordo Cooper on board. Gordo would become the first American to spend an entire day in space. And how about this one for old Gordo? Gordo was cool. Gordo was the last American to go into space alone. He was the last one to be up there in that tin can floating around by himself. There you have it. Those are antecedently on this day. Those are all the events that have helped shape our understanding of this day. Now we move effortlessly into quarter 2. We call it birthdays. People having birthdays today. Let's decide if they suck or not. This guy doesn't. This guy's a dude. I love this dude. Happy birthday, born on this day in 1940. Former NBA coach, a goddamn legend here in Dallas. Let's hear it for Donnie Nelson. Donnie Nelson, born on this day in 1940. He quit being a coach in the NBA, moved to Hawaii, and has been fucking ripped ever since. Have you seen Don Nelson now? Don Nelson out there in Hawaii wearing nothing but tie-dye. His hair is like long. He's got long hippie hair. He's got a beard. He's got like a perma joint in his hand. Yeah, we're not used to seeing that. We remember Don Nelson, that old Silver Fox gentleman in the expensive suit, prowling the sidelines at Mavericks games. Had no idea he was Cheech. Happy birthday, Don Nelson. You know what? You were born in 1940. You live your fucking life, bro. Antecedently on this day in 1952, born unto this world, a little Italian guy by the name of Chaz Palminteri. Chaz Palminteri is an actor. He plays almost exclusively gangsters. I think Chaz Palminteri is the guy who got his acting career. He wasn't even an actor. I think he was a bouncer at a bar in New York, and somebody said, hey, you should be in a movie. And he said, yeah, everybody says that. And he says, well, I'm Martin Scorsese. I think that's how Chaz Palminteri got discovered. Something like that. Anyway, happy birthday. He's a cool actor, even if he's not an actor at all. I don't think he's an actor. I think he's just a dude. I think he's a dude who looks a certain way and speaks a certain way. And when they make him speak certain lines, it comes off like acting. Chaz Palminteri. Born on this day in 1952. Born on this day in 1956, Dan Patrick, American television anchor and sportscaster. Not our fucked up lieutenant governor here in Texas with the giant horse teeth. Nice teeth, fucking weirdo. Anyway, Dan Patrick, we like him. He used to be on Sports Center. He seems pretty cool. I met Dan Patrick once. He was doing his Dan Patrick radio show from Dallas. I think this was maybe, I don't know, Super Bowl event or something, whatever. I don't know, but he was using the studios right next to the studios that we were in. So I, in a break, I made sure I went and introduced him, made sure that he felt comfortable. You know, I was a guy at the station. I'm like, hey, I just wanted to say hello. I'm a big fan, blah, blah, blah. He was nice. Dan Patrick was nice. He was very professional, very cordial, you know, the way you'd want him to be. Here's the thing, and this was 15 years ago. He looked like he was dying of cancer. He looked really sick. That was the most jarring thing when I saw Dan Patrick 15 years ago, because you're used to him from Sports Center. He's a handsome man. He's a fun guy. He looks vital. I saw him in real life, and I was like, oh, my God, that's like a 90-year-old man. And he's not, because he was born on this day in 1956. I hope he's better. I hope he looks better. I've seen him on his little TV show. He does. You know what? He does. He looks much better today than he did when I met him 15 years ago. Happy birthday, Dan Patrick. Antecedently born on, or not born on this day, not antecedently, I should say, but born on this day in 1969. Here's a legend here in town and an asshole. I'm sorry. Hey, look, if I'm going to be honest about Michael Jordan, my hometown superhero, being an asshole, Jordan's an asshole. Let's not get ourselves. I can be honest about this guy being an asshole. Happy birthday. Born on this day, 1969. Emmitt Smith is an asshole. He's an asshole. And see, here's another guy that might be an asshole. I don't know if he's an asshole or not. I know there's one family. There's one family that probably thinks he's an asshole, but I don't know if he's an asshole. I don't know. Is he? I don't know. He's a good player. He's a good. I don't know enough about his personal life to know if he's an asshole. Here's what I do think. I think he's a little much. I think this guy's a little bit too, this is how I really am. 60 seconds out of every minute of every day. This is who. Ray Lewis, ladies and gentlemen, American football player, sportscaster. He's a little much. He's a little high intensity. Might be an asshole. I don't know. Happy birthday. Born on this day in 1975, Ray Lewis. Born on this day in 1981. Here's somebody I just adore. He's going through he's got some health problems. I don't know if she's got MS or something like that. Watched her grow up on TV. Watched her grow up on one of the greatest, probably the greatest show that television has ever made. Born on this day in 1981, Jamie Lynn Sigler, of course, Meadow Soprano from The Sopranos. Jamie Lynn. What's she got? She's got something. She's got a challenge, and she's beautiful, and she's a terrific little actress, and God love her. All right. Happy birthday. Born on this day, Jamie Lynn Sigler. Okay, let's move on to quarter three. Quarter three is where we do the deads. These are people who've passed away. We decide heaven or hell. Adam's still in the chat room, just chopping it up like a madman. He says that he agrees with me. I think he says Emmitt Smith is an asshole simply because he doesn't know how to tip. Well, that is one of the indicators. Yeah, if you're not a tipper, or if you're a bad tipper and you know you're supposed to tip, yeah, you're an asshole. Sorry, just an asshole. That might be one of pro athletes in general don't tip. Oh, God. You know what? Should I go here? Should I go here? Black people don't tip. There you go. I said it. I said it. Black people don't tip. I don't know if it's not a part of their culture. I don't know if I am conditioned in a suburban white people culture where tipping is, expected and done. Maybe that's not the case. I don't know, but I do know that I have bartended for many years and I've delivered pizzas for many years. And the one common thread is that if I serve a black person, they don't tip me. So there you go. I said it. Racist. It's just my life experience. I'm just repeating it. Sorry if you don't like my life experience. Black people don't tip. There you go. Sweeping, he says, which isn't true because, of course, some black people tip. There are some it's not. I'm just saying it seems to be something that is not as culturally embraced as maybe the Irish white Catholic culture that I grew up in, where everybody's greasing somebody's palm for something. She has MS. Thank you, Leslie. Leslie points out that Jamie Lynn Siegler has MS. That's what I thought. I thought it was something like that. Something very difficult. And let's all send good thoughts to her because, as I say, she's adorable. How about people who are good thoughts will not help at all? That's right. It's time for us to move into the deads. Let's move into people who have died on this day, passed away. Again, celebrities, notable quotables, whatever. Here's how this part differs. We decide where they go, heaven or hell. Heaven. I'm sorry. I'm just preemptively putting this person in heaven. Dead on this day in 2003, June Carter Cash. June Carter Cash. I'm putting her in heaven. She was an adorable woman. I don't know this. I've never met her. But every depiction of June Carter Cash ever has been that she is the most adorable woman. And let's not kid ourselves. She put herself through hell with that Johnny Cash bullshit. That guy put her through hell, and she was there. She helped him. My God, Reese Witherspoon, right? Didn't Reese Witherspoon play her in the Walk the Line, right? The Johnny Cash movie. Anyway, June Carter, putting her in heaven preemptively. Next dude, going to hell preemptively. Yeah, it's one of these rules. I got rules. I got rules for people. Football coaches go to hell. Actresses go to hell. Politicians go to hell. Evangelical mega preachers. Yeah, you better believe they go to hell. And that's where Jerry Falwell is going. Jerry Falwell, dead on this day in 2007, made a lot of money selling salvation to the gullible. Jerry Falwell, dead on this day in 2007, American pastor, founded Liberty University. Going to hell, Jerry Falwell. Thou shalt not proselytize. I don't think it says that in the Bible, but I'm pretty sure. I like the whole don't proselytize a lot. Don't proselytize. Don't proselytize. Don't process the. Oh, I lost it. I can't say it. What is that thing that Jesus says about don't go hounding people about be a Christian because it's cool? What is that thing? Proselytizing. Oh, fuck me. That word is gone forever. I'm never going to be able to say that word. Dead on this day in 2020, Fred Willard. Heaven. I don't even have to think about it. Fred Willard? Oh my God. Who doesn't freaking love Fred Willard? Died on this day in 2020. He was terrific. All the Chris Guest movies. Oh. As the play-by-play guy in Best in Show, which is an amazing Chris Guest movie. Fred Willard, what else is he in? Oh, I don't know. Anything that's ever been funny has Fred Willard in it. The great Fred Willard goes to heaven, dead on this day in 2020. All right, folks. Should we just get into all the other things that are happening in the world today? What do you say? All right. Frank's joining. Frank's joining a little late. He wants me to say my he says, I just tuned in. Who doesn't tip? In my life experience as a bartender and as a pizza delivery guy on the south side of Chicago, it is my experience that black people do not tip, Frank. There you go. Said it. Said it. You want to try with other ethnic groups too? That's because that's really it. I only know that one. Actually, is there the super rich people? Super rich people tip very poorly. I used to deliver pizzas to this neighborhood called Ramsgate, And Ramsgate was all these giant gated, super fancy houses, and they all had like housekeepers and stuff like that. Do you know what really rich people would do? Rich people would order like $150 worth of food on a Friday night, and then they would send the housekeeper to pay. Yeah. And they would send the housekeeper with exact money. Yeah. Housekeeper. They make the housekeeper stiff the delivery guy. That's rich people for you. I had a black guy look me straight in the eye and say, "What are you waiting for? I don't tip." There you go. I had that. What are you waiting for? I don't tip. Okay. All right, man. That's fine. Well, this sucks. Then pick it up next time. Don't make me get in my car. There's a delivery fee. Oh, fuck you. That delivery fee is bullshit. Anyway, you got to tip, man. You got to take care of people. I don't believe in tipping for everything. Like, I hate when I go and pick up fast food somewhere. Like, I'll order food online, robot, and then I'll pay for it, robot, and then I'll just show up and pick it up, robot. But then when I gotta like do my thing at the end, there's always like, "Do you want a tip?" And I'm like, who am I tipping? The robots? I mean, I will tip a little waitress who keeps coming by my table. You know, she's like, "Can I get you another round?" That person deserves a tip. I'll tip a bartender for when it's crowded, for noticing me and going, "Can I get you something else?" I'll tip for that. I'll tip a pizza delivery guy who comes out in shitty weather because I'm too lazy to put on a fucking parka in a blizzard and go get a pizza. I'll tip that guy. I don't know about all this. I'm doing all of this stuff now, AI stuff, doing it all online. And it's like, "Would you like to tip?" Who the fuck am I tipping? I don't know. I do not want to tip. And then I've seen places that actually have the tip included, and you have to actually do a step to get the tip taken off. The fuck is that? That's a little presumptuous. And I'm a tipper. I am somebody who tips and tips well and appreciates good service and wants to support working class people. And that's who we're talking about with those who work on tips. But come on, who am I tipping here? Would you like to give 15% to who? You're a machine. I don't know who I'm giving this to. No. There you go. Like horse for racehorse rich. Housekeeper rich. Wow. Okay. Yeah, Frank. Yeah, housekeeper rich is rich. Permanent housekeeper rich is rich. Don't tell me you got someone who comes once or twice a week. That ain't cool. You tell me you got somebody who lives in a bungalow in the back of your property who cleans your house every day and does your laundry. That's rich. You got yourself a live-in Alice? Are you kidding me? By the way, have you ever seen the Brady Bunch house in real life? It ain't that big. Where the fuck was Alice living? There ain't no maid's quarters in that real Brady Bunch house. Also, you want to know something else that's funny about the real Brady Bunch house? The real Brady Bunch house's backyard is like the I-10 freeway. Yeah. When you look at the real Brady Bunch house on a map, you see that like their backyard has like one of those 30-foot fences because on the other side of the fence is the fucking roaring expressway. Long story short, the Brady Bunch house kind of sucks. Okay. All right, let's get started with all the things people are talking about. I'm going to start each and every show. I'm going to start it the same way until this is no longer a story, okay? Trump, give the fucking plane back, you idiot. Thank you. That's it. That's me as an American just saying, dude, the dude fucking toured the plane yesterday. Like, you guys really aren't going to let me keep it? Like, he's starting to throw a bit of a tantrum. Every fucking buddy, except for the absolute worst. The absolute worst of you are out there going, "Why will we turn down a free plane?" Because we're not broke-ass bitches who need to take a free plane from a terror country, okay? You fucking idiot. Why would you turn the free plane? You're like the same person. It's a free slice of pizza. Fuck you. We don't need a free slice of pizza. We're the United States of America. We have the largest defense budget in the fucking world. We don't need a free plane from a bunch of dudes who fund Al-Qaeda. That's a free plane. Shut up. Give the plane back, stupid. And I'm talking to Trump now when I call him stupid. Hey, stupid, you know this is wrong. This is just all about your fucking ego. You like the plane. Well, you know what? Maybe come back to America. Maybe somebody build you a plane here. It's not giving me the plane. They're lending it to me so that I can use it while I'm president. And then when I'm no longer president, then it's going to go to my library found out. Fuck you! They're giving you a fucking plane, you asshole. Ugh. It is. It's all about his ego right now. He's seeing how much he can get away with because this is the worst. This is like so absurd. But yet here we are. And everybody is in agreement except for just the most stupid people out there. That's a free plane. We're going to save like money. Fuck you, dude. Save money. We spend like $100,000 for toilet seats and fucking bombers. Now you're worried about saving money. It's a free plane. Stop it. There you go. That's how we're going to start every show until this stupid plane story isn't a story anymore. Here we go. Supreme Court's got some big things they're hearing about today. Supreme Court's throwing down on this whole birthright citizenship issue. Which, before we get any further in this, let's explain exactly what birthright citizenship is, because it's in our Constitution, okay? It's a part of the 14th Amendment. What? It's a stupid one. Okay, are we picking and choosing the amendments that we like, right? Because we love the Second and First, right? We love the Second and First Amendment, and we will die because the Constitution means that much to us. But when we get further down to like 14th, we're like, oh, fuck that one. That one's stupid. We can get rid of that one. That one doesn't appeal to me. Stop it. So the Supreme Court's got to hear these challenges to the 14th Amendment and birthright citizenship, okay? So I'm going to explain to you exactly what that is and how it is legally defined here. 1, unrestricted birthplace-based citizenship. Okay. Fancy Latin word for that is jus soli. What this is granting citizenship to anyone born on U.S. soil, regardless of their parents' status, with exceptions like children of foreign diplomats. So if you are born in this country, you are an American. This is in the Constitution. Even if your parents came here illegally, you were born in this country and you were an American. You may vehemently disagree with that. But then again, you disagree with the Constitution because that's the 14th Amendment. It's right in there. Okay? That's the first kind. Now, this is the kind that is being challenged. Because this is where, some people climb a fence, swim a river, and then they get here and they plop a baby out and that baby's a citizen, but now the parents have to go back. So that's why this is being challenged. Can you just send a kid back with their parents because their parents are here illegally if that child, albeit maybe even 6 months old, is an American citizen? Because the 14th Amendment says it is. That is unrestricted birthplace-based citizenship, or in Latin, jus soli. Jus, J-U-S, soli. The second kind that the Supreme Court is hearing about now. Oh, and by the way, in that first kind, it also needs to be noted that the exceptions for this are, like if you are a diplomat at the UN and you're living in Manhattan as a part of your job, you're a French citizen, and your wife has a baby. That baby does not become a U.S. citizen because the parents are here for diplomatic reasons. Okay, so there's an exception. Exception to Rule 1 or Part 1, unrestricted birthplace-based citizenship. The second kind is restricted ancestry-based citizenship, or jus sanguinis. Okay, that extends to citizens of children born abroad to U.S. citizens. That is almost the same thing as the second part of the first one. If you are in the United States military and you go over to Okinawa and you knock up a woman and that baby is born in Okinawa because you knocked her up and you're a U.S. citizen on foreign soil, that baby is your baby and it is also a U.S. citizen. Okay. Now, globally, interestingly enough, this isn't a thing. We're like one of the only countries that really has an issue with the birthright citizen thing. Globally, birthright citizenship, it's common here in North America, but less so in other regions. The historical foundation of this principle in the U.S. reflects its aim to eliminate legal inequalities and promote inclusivity. Look at that. When they were getting around to the 14th Amendment, those woke sons of bitches in the powdered wigs, they were preaching about inclusivity. Damn, DEI, as American as the 13th and 14th Amendment. Yeah, I included the 13th in there. I'm trying to be cute. All right, so the Supreme Court is hearing those arguments. This is going to have a great impact, however the Supreme Court rules here. It's going to have a great impact on these Trump plans moving forward and the deportation of people left and right. We have not really been covering that because boring. All right, let's keep going. Walmart is ringing their bell. Wait a second, I thought everything was fine. I thought China's on board. I thought the tariffs were good. Isn't that what we heard a couple of days ago? Walmart, isn't it weird? Walmart is our barometer. Walmart now, what Walmart said, if Walmart's making money, everything's good. If Walmart's saying things are going to be tough for them, then it's going to be tough for us because we buy everything from Walmart. Walmart beat first quarter earning estimates, which is good. But they say that that's just because they were stockpiling. They were buying all kinds of, you know what? I'm not going to opine. I'm just going to read you the story. Walmart beat first quarter earnings estimates, but fell short of sales expectations. So they made more money on earnings, but sold less. Walmart increased their prices. That's right. Walmart increased their prices to keep pace so that their earnings call, they could say we beat first quarter earnings, but we sold less. Keep raising them prices, Walmart. Walmart beat first quarter earnings estimates, but fell just short of sales expectations. Chief Financial Officer John David Rainey said, he said that consumers could start to see higher prices as soon as this month. The company said its e-commerce business was profitable for the first time during the quarter. All right, very good. Nobody's going to stores. All right, Walmart is telling us, they're saying prices are going up in the next couple of weeks. Enjoy. All right, we'll see how long that can be tolerated. I think that we have the ability in this country to tolerate price increases if they're reasonable, and I don't know what reasonable is. Look, if everything goes up $2, we're going to have a problem. Like eggs, when eggs went from like $3 for a dozen to like $9 a dozen, when that happened, we noticed. That was blink of an eye overnight. I don't think that's how they're going to get us. They're going to slow roll us. They're going to go up 10 cents here, then maybe 15. Then, it's going to, before we know it, shit's going to be $2 more expensive, but we're going to be okay because they're going to do it. They're going to roll it out incrementally. We don't like to be shocked, but we can be lulled into acceptance. All right. How about this? Oh, this is fun. All right, let's go through this. We did a little bit of this last night on the my show with the Sports Bras, Dallas Shockhouse, Dallas. We talked about the Cowboys schedule. It was released. The Cowboys, NFL football Cowboys, for those of you who aren't in the know, our home team here in Dallas. Cowboys schedule was released for 2025. A couple of notes that I want to put out here to you. Okay, couple of notes as we discussed last night on the Shock House show. We talked about the first game, the very first game of the year. The Cowboys, pretty cool. Look at us. We're opening the season. Hold on. Really? What the fuck is going on here? I just Googled Dallas Cowboys schedule like I'd done earlier, and I've got games from like 2 years ago. They're giving me scores from games from 2 years ago. Hold on. Here we go. All right, let's see here. Preseason. Okay, the season opens up. All right, this is good. Cowboys open up their season against the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. They open up the season there at the Link in Philadelphia. It is a division game. It is a chief rival game, and they are playing the defending Super Bowl champions, a team that has had the Cowboys number for a couple of seasons now. Now, you look at this as a Cowboy fan, and you go, oh, fuck, 0-1. We're going to lose to, I don't know. We talked about this last night. CC brought it up. This is a trap game. This is a trap game because the Eagles are going to be vetted on that night. They're going to receive, they're probably going to do a banner thing. They're going to come out. The crowd's going to be nuts. I don't know how dialed in to actually playing a real serious game of football. These are the kinds of games where the Cowboys can get a division victory over somebody who otherwise we might go 0-2 against this year. We could steal a victory. This is good. Don't be afraid of that first game. Cowboys, Eagles, they could win that game. Now, All right. And you go to the Giants, then you go to the Bears in Chicago, then you got the Packers and then the Jets and all that good stuff. Okay. So season kind of starts to shake out like a normal football season. And as I look at this, oh my God. All right, hold on. Let me get you where we need to go. Okay, here we go. This is where the NFL schedule makers have once again completely bent the Dallas Cowboys over and did you no favors. Didn't even use any lube, man. They just starting the week before Thanksgiving and ending on Christmas Day. Cowboy fans, you know how we do in December. How do we do in December? It's not good. We have these December swoons. I'm telling you, the Cowboys are going to need to be 7-3 heading into Thanksgiving. Cowboys are going to need to be 7-3 heading into Thanksgiving because I will tell you, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, the Cowboys have the most daunting schedule you may have ever seen. The schedule is insane. They're going to lose a lot of these games. All right, let's pick it up. Let's start November 23rd. Let's just start the week before this insane run comes because this is a team that is also, well, it's the Philadelphia Eagles again. On November 23rd, the week before Thanksgiving, the Cowboys play the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, this is in Dallas. We may have stolen one to open the season in the link. That's what we're hoping. But this one is in Dallas. It's a week before Thanksgiving. It's a tough game, right? It's the Philadelphia Eagles. You've got to respect them. This isn't, the Carolina Panthers. It's the Philadelphia Eagles. So I'm throwing that out. Okay, so here's what the Cowboys have. They've got the Eagles. Then let's start on Thanksgiving. On Thanksgiving, they got the Chiefs. Eagles, is that a win or a loss? Chiefs, is that a win or a loss? Right? You're thinking about it. Then who do they go to? Then they got to go to Detroit. Then they got the Lions. Eagles, Chiefs, Lions, 3 in a row. Doesn't get any easier because then they got the Vikings. And I think the Vikings have the best defense in the NFL this season. I think the Vikings are going to be a really scary team. And I say that the Vikings are in my division. I don't think my team is as good as the Vikings. I think the Vikings with a healthy J.J. McCarthy, if he is what they hope he is, holy shit. So the Cowboys are going to have to face the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Lions, the Vikings. Then the Harbaugh and Herbert-led Chargers. Cowboy fans, this is your December. Eagles, Chiefs, Lions, Vikings, Chargers. Then you get the Commanders. The Commanders. You got to play that one on the road. Eagles at Cowboys, home game. Chiefs at Cowboys, home game. You got to split that. You either got to beat the Chiefs on Thanksgiving or you got to beat the Eagles the week before. Then you're on the road at the Lions. I think that's a loss. Then you got to take on the Vikings. We'll see where the Vikings are, but the Vikings are a very good team. Then you got the Chargers. These are all home games. These are all home games. Except for, so the only two that are not home games in this stretch are the Lions and the Commanders. Everything else is a home game. All right. That was that 5 games? 3 are at home, 2 are on the road. 5 games that could absolutely destroy this season for the Cowboys. Going into that, you guys better be 7-3. 7-3 is what I would be comfortable with because I think that you could lose 4 of those 5 games. Shit. Let's be honest. You could lose all 5 of those games. You could lose all 5. Not a good back end of the season schedule for the Cowboys. That is a really choke on it, baby. Choke on it. All right. Cowboys. Oh, and by the way, if you want to go watch all of the teams, they do this now. All of the teams do crazy little viral video to release their schedule. The official Cowboys release schedule. It's always a sketch. It's always a skit. They're always being funny. I thought the Cowboys one was kind of dumb. It was a bunch of dudes on a golf course. It was kind of dumb. That Bears one was corny. The Bears one, my son loves the Bears one. My son sent me the Bears one this morning. Dude, the Bears crushed it this year. He's only saying that because the Bears reached out to all these like celebrities and stuff that film TV shows in Chicago. So it like had the cast of The New Girl, and it had like, like all these like comedians and stuff. It was dumb. It was dumb. It was corny. They're all dumb and corny. Somebody, though, and I haven't seen it yet, but it'll pop. It'll rise to the top. One team will have done a really good one, and we'll all watch it. We'll be like, did you see the Chargers schedule release? It was hysterical. Anyway, there you go. How about this little piece of fun fact? There's some news for you. Did you know that Dallas is sinking? Yeah. I don't know if we need to be worried about this, but Dallas-Fort Worth is sinking faster than any other inland city in the United States. Well, they qualified it with inland city, so that's good. I think Miami and New Orleans, and New York and Boston, and I think those cities are all sinking faster. By the way, I got a question. So, whenever they talk about coastal cities in America that are, going to be underwater, it's all the ones on the East Coast. It's like New York's going to be underwater. Boston's going to be underwater. Miami's going to be underwater. All Florida's going to be underwater. New Orleans is going to be gone. Houston, see ya. It's all like those places. They never say that about Seattle or San Francisco, Los Angeles or San Diego. So here's my question. Is our continental plates or whatever, are they on an incline? Like, is it like, you know what I mean? Like, is it flat? Like, I like to imagine the whole continent of North America is flat, but is it like this? Here, I don't know if I can see it. So like, I like to think that it's like flat, right? And all of this is even, right? East Coast, West Coast, right? I like to think it like that. West Coast. Okay. So, but is it actually like this? Like is the West Coast up higher and is the East Coast like closer? I don't know. These are the things stupid people ponder. All right, let's keep going. What do we got here? Dallas is sinking. Yeah, let's get into this story. We should know, right? We should put all of our houses on stilts. Suddenly that'll become a thing. Dallas and Fort Worth are sinking at a rate of 4 millimeters per year due to groundwater loss. This according to a recent study. We got no water here. We got no water in the middle. So I never understood how Dallas-Fort Worth was founded. Like, I can get why it would be founded in like 1980. Like, if people got here in 1980, you could look at this area and go, I got a lot of potential. I mean, of course, we've got air conditioning because it's 1980. We can do like some really cool things with plumbing and water redistributing and all of that because it's 1980. But how did they do it in like 1820? Like, who moved to Dallas in like August of 1820 and went, this place has got potential? Hey, get the fuck out of here. There's no water. It's a desert. This is a desert. Like, what do you mean, Pugs? There's plenty of lakes around Dallas. They're all man-made. They ain't real lakes. There ain't no real lakes. We have, I know it's a desert because we've got a body of water that naturally occurs and runs through Dallas. It's called the Trinity River, and it's dry as a bone. Not up by Burles. Oh, shut up. It's dry as a bone. Trinity River is a stone's throw from where I am. You just walk out my door here in the design district, and I can walk over to the trail, and I'll be on the Trinity River in less than 5 minutes. River. Ha! All right. A group of researchers have measured, using satellite observations, the vertical displacement in 28 urban cities across the U.S. The study found that Dallas and Fort Worth are sinking at a rate of about 4 millimeters per year. The second and third most of the 22 largest U.S. cities. Well, what do you mean second? Oh, because the other ones are like New York and stuff, the ones that are sinking. The gradual sinking of the Earth's surface, also known as, what is this? Hold on. I'm learning this for the first time. What are you talking about, the gradual sinking of the Earth's surface? I didn't know that was a thing. You talk about it like it's something we've discussed before. The gradual sinking. You know how Earth is completely imploding and at some point we're just going to look like a dried up prune? No, I don't know anything about that. This is all new. The researchers attribute the sinking to the loss of groundwater. In Houston, mineral extraction also plays a significant role. The study shows over 70% of the land in Dallas-Fort Worth sinks about 3 millimeters every year. Dallas, Fort Worth, and Houston exhibit the highest proportions of sinking areas, the study states. All right, whatever. You look, I can read more. There's a lot more to read, but we get the idea. We're sinking. There ain't a goddamn thing any of us can do about it. So let's just move on. Dallas is sinking. Dallas and Fort Worth. Don't want to leave Fort Worth out. We always leave Fort Worth out. All right, let's get into the Diddy trial. Of course, I host the show Diddy or Didn't He nightly here on Radio Misfits, radiomisfits.com, Radio Misfits on YouTube, Radio Misfits on Facebook. You can find all of my coverage of the Diddy trial, but I do need to mention some things. We are in day 4. Cassie Ventura is back on the stand today. She's being cross-examined. Now, I was wrong. I thought it was going to be Tenny Garagos who was going to cross-examine her. I knew it would be one of the women, but they sent this other chick. I don't know her name yet. I promise you this. I will know her name, and I'll be completely briefed up on her by the time I record Diddy or Didn't He tonight. I do want to show you something, though, because our girl, is this it? Hold on. Our girl April, she sent this to me. Now look, guys, this trial's not on TV. How are we supposed to follow it? How are you follow? Well, I've actually found a couple of. If I'm honest, when I started this coverage, I had about 10 different sources that I was using for what was happening in the courtroom. Because again, it's not on TV. We have to follow these blogs, these live blogs of people who are in there who are furiously writing everything that's being said. So I'm reading the entire trial, which I thought would be a big headache, but it's not. It's actually kind of fun because there is some stuff being said, boy. So I started out with about 10 things, but if I'm being honest with you, there's really only 2 sources that I'm relying on most for my details. And that is on YouTube. It's the Law and Crime channel, Law and Crime on YouTube. They are doing incredible coverage. And then there's the New York Post's live blog. The New York Post has people in there. I think they're doing a really good job. I was using another blog. I was using the Reuters, or was it the AP blog? I was using one of the other blogs. It's not as good. Whoever they got writing it for the Post, man, I love their poetic. I like the way they interpret things. It's good. It's good. So those are the 2 things that I'm using primarily for all the information and the breaking information that I'm getting. It's Law and Crime on YouTube, and then the New York Post. The New York Post is doing really good coverage. But I want to show you this, because this is really pretty cool. This is the kind of stuff that Law and Crime is doing. Now, they've got, I hope they do more of these. I don't know if this is something that's very difficult to do. I don't know if it's expensive at this point. But Law and Crime on YouTube are taking the trial, and they are creating an AI rendition of the trial. And if you've been following Diddy or Didn't He, you know we've been complaining about the courtroom sketch artist and how this person is not getting the job done. I'm sure they're a terrific artist. I'm sure they're just not getting the job done. It's not what we want. So Law and Crime has addressed people like me who have this problem. They are taking AI technology and they are recreating what is happening in the trial. These are the words that were spoken. These are more accurate physical representations of the people doing the, for instance, I'm going to show you here. This is an AI recreation of lead prosecutor for the state, or for the government, I guess. Same thing. This is Emily Johnson and her opening statement from a couple of days ago, from Monday. Now, I had only read it, and I'm telling you, these AI renditions, I don't know if they're misleading or not. I don't know if these AI renditions are accurately portraying the body language and the tone in which these things were said, but it sure is fun to watch. So let's check this out. We'll watch a little bit of this Law and Crime on YouTube, Law and Crime AI recreation of Emily Johnson, the leader of the prosecution's opening statement here in the Diddy trial. Check this out.
I know this will be a long road, but I want to emphasize that you have a tremendously important task as jurors. It is to determine the facts. You, and not the court, are the sole judges of the facts. The Constitution itself recognizes your unique role in our system of justice. So please, pay careful attention to the witnesses and evidence received at trial, as well as my instructions on the law. I thank you for your commitment to performing this civic duty and recognize the sacrifices that you have all made to be here today. We will now begin with opening statements. Is the government prepared to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you may proceed.
This is Sean Combs. To the public, he was Puff Daddy, or Diddy, a cultural icon, a businessman larger than life. But there was another side to him, a side that ran a criminal enterprise. During this trial, you're going to hear about 20 years of the defendant's crimes. But he didn't do it alone. He had an inner circle of bodyguards and high-ranking employees who helped him commit crimes and helped him cover them up. Kidnapping, arson, drugs, sex crimes, bribery, and obstruction. These are just some of the crimes that the defendant and his inner circle committed again and again. You are going to hear about all of them during this trial. Let's start now with just one night. The defendant was on the hunt for his girlfriend, a woman named Cassie. For years, the defendant physically abused Cassie. He also sexually exploited her, forcing her to have sex with male escorts while he watched and recorded it. But that night, the defendant learned he had lost control of Cassie. He found out Cassie was seeing another man. Furious, he set out to find Cassie and that other man, but he couldn't do it by himself. So he took his gun and he took his bodyguard, one of his most loyal lieutenants, to wake up one of the defendant's employees in the middle of the night. The defendant yelled that he was going to kill the man Cassie was with. He demanded that his employee take him to that man's home. The defendant forced the employee out of her apartment and into an SUV. They drove to the house. The defendant and his bodyguard broke in, but no one was there. The defendant did give up. He kept looking for Cassie. When he finally found her, he did what he had done countless times before. He beat her brutally, kicking her in the back and flinging her around like a rag doll. All of that violence wasn't enough, though. The defendant had to make sure he had control over Cassie once again, so he threatened her. The defendant told Cassie that if she defied him again, he would publicly release the videos of her having sex with male escorts that he kept as blackmail. Souvenirs of the most humiliating nights of her life. This was just one night in the defendant's.
All right, there you go. We don't need to watch the whole thing, but you get an idea. How cool is that, man? That, by the way, Emily Johnson, AI Emily Johnson, very cute. I want more of that long crime. Long crime, more of that, please. All right, let's dip into what's been going on so far today. This is all the stuff that I'm going to end up covering on Diddy or Didn't He, once again, every night here on Radio Misfits. They began the cross-examination of Cassie today. Yesterday was, what do they call it? Direct. So it's the prosecution, it's their witness. She takes the stand, and for the previous 2 days, we've been seeing direct examination of Cassie by the prosecution. And now today, we're getting cross-examination. So now this is the defense. Their job is to try and, shit on everything that she has laid out there for the last 2 days in front of the jury. This is why this was such a big day for me. And I've said this the last couple of nights on the Diddy or Didn't He podcast. How do you dismantle? How do you attempt to discredit? How do you break a pregnant woman on the stand? How do you do it? I mean, I imagine you could do it pretty easily, right? That's not the problem, because a pregnant woman is emotional and all that. I imagine it would be pretty easy to absolutely destroy a pregnant woman on the stand. But as a defense attorney whose client is facing life in prison, do you want to do that in front of a jury? So I was very intrigued as to how they were going to handle the cross-examination of 8 months pregnant Cassie. Now, I said yesterday I thought it would be, without a doubt, Tenny Garagos, but that's only because I didn't realize they had other women I hadn't heard of this woman before, but the cross-examination this morning of Cassie Ventura was done by Anna Estavio, who is another one of the attorneys there on Diddy's defense team. It says here, Sean Diddy Combs' lawyer, Anna Estavio, has begun what is likely to be a marathon cross-examination of Cassie Ventura. Here are some of the back and forth between the two. Okay, she said, you and Sean Combs were in love for 11 years, right? She asked, to which Cassie responded, yeah. You kept coming back to him for 11 years. And then Cassie responded, I wouldn't use the word coming back, she said. To which Diddy's attorney said, you would continue to go back with him for 11 years. True? To which Cassie replied, yes. Now, why is this an important exchange? It's an important exchange because I think that a lot of people who are trying to watch this or trying to weigh all of the evidence and stay as in the middle until we can't be in the middle anymore. I mean, I think that's the only way that you break down a he said, she said situation like this. Yes. Do I think Sean Diddy Combs is a fucking monster and a scumbag? Absolutely. But that's not what he's being charged with. And I feel like we have said this in other big high-profile court cases a number of times. The federal government seems to be overcharging him. They are going for a Hail Mary that's going to put him in jail forever. They've got a defense team openly admitting that he is a domestic abuser. The defense team is saying, oh, yeah, he's a domestic abuser. He knocked her around, but he's not a sex trafficker, and he's not a... How are they going to prove that he is a sex trafficker? They can very easily prove that he's a domestic abuser, and you know what? He might end up spending a little bit of time in prison for what they're able to prove. But that's not even what he's being charged with. So they're not even going to try and prove that. I have been saying now, and it's day 4, and until I completely go through what the exchanges were here between Cassie and Diddy's defense team, I am still of the opinion that Diddy is going to walk. That Diddy is going to walk from this thing, and we're all going to know all of these deep, dark, creepy secrets, and he may never be allowed back into civilized society again. But that's okay, because he's a billionaire. You just go live on an island somewhere. His life will be fine. He'll be humiliated, and maybe that's the punishment. I don't know. But they're trying to put him in jail forever. And by establishing here in this give and take that for 11 years she participated in these things, it can't help but raise suspicion in the mind of people like myself who are sitting in the middle going, 11 years she went through this? And the excuse that she's scared or was afraid to stop, well, I have a follow-up on that. What were you afraid of? Were you physically afraid that he was going to beat you up? And were you afraid of the pain from being beat up? Or were you afraid that he wasn't going to make you a star like he promised? Were you afraid that he was going to abandon you and completely throw your career to the side? What was it you were afraid of, Cassie, that kept you coming back? And I truly would like to know. I'd like to hear that question answered, because there's a big difference in how I respond to those answers. If you tell me you did it because you were afraid because he was beating you and you were afraid of the pain and all that kind of stuff, well, that I understand. You're a broken woman. That's the way slaves think. That's the way people who have been, tortured think. I get that. But Cassie, if the reason you're saying you were afraid is because you didn't want to give up on your career dreams, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You should not have gotten in this kind of a relationship with your boss, with a person who controls your career. I know a lot of people do it. And I know there are probably exceptions where, it worked out fine for them. Okay, good. It didn't work out fine in this case. And I don't give a shit about the other cases. We're focusing on this case. I think Cassie seems like I don't know what she seems like. have a lot more thoughts. And you'll hear them tonight on Diddy or Didn't He? Right now, radiomisfits.com. Like, follow, subscribe. As soon as I record them, they will go out. Okay. What else happened on the stand today? So I was interested, like I said, I'm interested in what the tone of the cross-examination was going to be. Because again, you're doing this in front of a jury to a pregnant woman. So, and they got the woman out there. They got the lady out there doing the cross-examination. So it's not some big scary man going, cry, pregnant lady, cry. It's not that. So what was the tone? Defense attorney Anna Estavo's questioning of Cassie so far has been clinical and civil, with both women remaining calm and composed. Estavio, Diddy's attorney, appears to be trying to establish that Sean Combs and Cassie had a loving relationship. She's doing this by showing affectionate messages and tweets between the two of them between 2007 and 2010. Estavo is reading messages from Combs to Cassie while Cassie is reading the communications on her end from her BlackBerry. So you get it? What's happening here is they're doing a little role playing, where Estavo, the attorney for Sean Diddy Combs, is reading his messages to Cassie, and then Cassie is on the stand responding. These exchanges were incredibly damaging. To who? Well, join us tonight for Diddy or Didn't He? I'll tell you. They were really damaging. Here's something else, though, that I will share with you. Okay, this is kind of this is another thing that's going to be a problem. Okay, this is one particular, and they shared a whole bunch of text messages, but I want to show you this one. Maybe this will make you more inclined to join us tonight for Diddy or Didn't He? That's right, I'm pushing it. This is a text message between Cassie and Diddy, and I'm going to read it to you. Okay. Tell me what you think of this. This goes back to what year? I'm trying to see what year. 2010, I think we're going to say. Oh, boy. All right. Well, you know what? I don't have it now. Did they take that down? Yeah, I can't find it. Anyway, it says here, the jury has been shown a series of messages that Cassie Ventura allegedly sent to Sean Diddy Combs saying that she was excited to partake in freak-offs. Yeah, so they're sharing a whole bunch of text messages from Cassie, one in which she said, you know that I'm always ready to freak off. And she's saying she's, all these things and how horrible it is. And she's engaged in them for years and years. And now here we are a couple of years into her doing these freak offs. And they're presenting now in court a text where Cassie is, where Diddy says, I want to do a freak off. And she responds, I'm always ready for a freak off. So she seems to be enthusiastically leading him on to think that it's okay. I mean, let's think about Diddy as the boyfriend. I'm going to ask my girlfriend if she wants to get freaky tonight. You want to have a freak off? And she responds, I'm always ready for a freak off. That is giving me as the boyfriend absolutely no indication that I'm doing something that, she's uncomfortable with. The jury's been shown a series of messages that Cassie Ventura allegedly sent to Sean Diddy Combs saying that she was excited to partake in freak offs. Here's what she said. I'm always ready to freak off, LOL. She even put the LOL. Ventura wrote in a BlackBerry message to Combs. This was 3 years into their relationship when she was in her mid-20s. He was in his late 40s. The duo decided that they would hold one of the marathon sex sessions on a Friday night of that very week. Jurors also heard more explicit messages in which Ventura seemed to express excitement about taking part in the freak-offs. After the message was read out loud, Ventura asked for a break and grabbed her 8-month pregnant belly with both hands. Ventura had previously testified that she participated in the freak-offs to please Combs. That's very important because yesterday she said she was only doing it to please him. Now today we have text messages from her where she's like, "Oh, I'm going to find this guy. And I'm always down for a freak off." So it's getting a little bit less cut and dry. Ventura had previously testified that she participated in freak-offs only to please Combs and because she wanted to avoid his anger and rage, which often resulted in him beating her. The defense has said that it will show that Combs' alleged victims were actually willing participants in these kinky sex events. I have seen nothing so far that says anybody who was in a freak-off wasn't a willing participant. I mean, we've heard from two people. We've heard from two people who were participants in the freak-offs. We heard from Philip Daniel, the male escort. We heard from him on day one. He was a willing participant. He was getting paid huge amounts of money. And Cassie, I mean, she's hot. I mean, that's not a tough job. Well, it might be to fulfill it the way that, Diddy was hoping, 10 hours of a maintained erection and whatnot. That's a little nuts. But he was a willing participant, Philip Daniel. Nobody's holding a gun to him. He was being paid. That's what he does. He's a sex worker. And now we see from Cassie in her own text messages that they made her read in her own voice to the jury. We have her seemingly a willing participant in the freak-offs. In the early days, we learned today that Cassie would wear masks and wigs. She would disguise herself in the early days of the freak-offs. She is maintaining that she did that because she was so ashamed of what she was doing, and she's just her way of hiding. The defense claims that no, that's not why she was doing it, because Diddy's also wearing disguises. It was because in the early days they were worried about these videotapes getting out. So you've got why are you wearing a wig? The prosecution asks, why are you wearing a wig? Why are you wearing a mask? Because I was so ashamed. I didn't want anyone to ever see me. I was trying to hide. That's what she said. Then the defense gets up there and they're like, hey, about the masks. Diddy was wearing a mask too. Why is that? Well, it's because it turns out, as the defense put out there, wasn't it true you were wearing that mask, not because you felt so ashamed, but because Diddy told you to wear the mask because he didn't want any of these videos ever getting out and people being able to identify either him or you. See, there's two ways of looking at that. This is all going to come down to how reputable we think Cassie is. And we'll see. She's going to be on the stand probably another couple of days. Who knows how long this could go. Cassie's emails. They got some emails that Cassie had sent to Diddy that they read in open court. She wasn't a prisoner. She made demands. She pushed him around. She was a bit of a manipulative girlfriend. She said things in emails that they offered in court that do not suggest that she was afraid to even speak sideways to him. She seemed to have a level of comfort in pushing back on things. Cassie's emails seemed manipulative. Ventura smiled as Sean Diddy Combs' lawyers brought up an email that she wrote to her then boyfriend just a few weeks after her 21st birthday. Cassie said, it's making me giggle because it's from 2007, Cassie said in court. The email expressed how grateful Ventura was to be in the much older music producer's life, but also some complaints about how she felt that he was constantly weary of her. She also wrote that she felt that Combs' assistant, Carrie Morgan, would be a better person for him to go after, since I've witnessed more than once you realizing that she is way better fitting for you than me. He's playing little manipulative games with him. Like, you don't love me. You don't want me. You would be better off with Carrie Morgan, who's been mentioned a couple of times. She was Diddy's assistant. She's another former model and close friends with Cassie. Anyway, all of this and more. We got a whole bunch more. It was a big day. I think they're going to wrap up here in about a half an hour. So then I got to go through it all and put it together. Tonight, Did He or Didn't He? Episode 4. Day 4 in the Diddy trial happening in a New York courtroom right now. All right, let's see. What else do we have here? Let's go. Boy, Diddy. All right, so I found this story today. And I'm going to mention this story, but it's really just because I want to talk about something else. This is so fucking weird. So there's this story out that says that men are shaving their eyelashes. Boys, young men, boys, men, grown-up men, they're shaving their eyelashes. So what? Eyelashes are what? These things? There's these things, right? All right, these are eyebrows, right? Those are good. Don't shave those. Those are easier. Forehead mustaches. You don't shave those. These are your eyelashes. Okay, so apparently dudes are shaving their eyelashes in a desperate. I'll read you the headline. Men are shaving their eyelashes in a desperate and pathetic attempt to appear more masculine. Can we stop with this whole alpha thing? Again, man, anybody who goes around, anybody who says that word alpha, uses it, like anybody who has that word in their little lexicon of words that they use every day, you're a fucking nerd. You're a dork. Stop it. If you say shit like alpha, if you say shit like that's woke, or if you say shit like, what else is another one that I like? Trad wife. There are just all of these dorky fucking programmed words that never existed before the last couple of years of social media. Cock. And now you people fucking use them and you look like a bunch of programmed dweebs. Oh yeah, I'm on Twitter too. I heard that word. Now you're using it, you fucking dork. You're a 55-year-old man using cuck, woke, and fuck. Stop it. Moron. Show me where you come from. Show me where you get your information from by using these stupid fucking words that are brand new. Anyway, alpha. We're all trying to be fucking alphas. Take my parking spot. You'll see an alpha. Seriously, real men, real guys who carry themselves like fucking guys, they don't need these little affectations. And they sure as shit don't need other people, strangers, to see them on the street and go, that motherfucker's an alpha. What kind of a fucking pussy ego slave are you if you are walking around? Actually, let me just dial it back. If you are fucking shaving your eyelashes because you think that's going to make you more of a man, you're a fucking dork. There you go, dork. You fucking weirdo. That doesn't mean we can't be friends, but I'm going to call you a fucking dork. I'm just so tired of this shit. And, you know, I got a 15-year-old son. A 16. Oh, my God. His birthday was last weekend. So I have a 16-year-old son. And, how do I say this? He's not a pussy, okay? Now, he is just who he is naturally. He has not been raised like, don't cry, only women cry. He hasn't been raised by any of that nonsense, okay? There's none of this, like, alpha male bullshit being pounded into his head. He just naturally went from being an adorable little kid to an irritating toddler to a young pubescent kid to now he's a young man. He ain't a pussy. He is a man. Does he strive for these macho accoutrements? Does he try to? No. But what I do appreciate about my 16-year-old son is that he makes fun of that shit. Like, he makes fun of the Andrew Tates. He makes fun of people who gravitate to that. So I feel good. I feel like maybe I've survived. I'm not raising a little asshole. He's not effeminate, which, would have been a problem for me. Would have been a real problem for me. If my son was effeminate, I would probably be like, dude, fucking don't sit like that. Why are you sitting like that? Now, that's not to say I would have a problem with my son if he was gay. I tell him all the time. I'm like, you got a girlfriend? And then I always say, or a boyfriend, because that's totally okay in this family. I say that to him all the time. So it's not about being gay, but it is about, it is about him being effeminate. I do not like, I'm going to say this, I do not like men who are overly effeminate. I do not wish to spend time with them. I do not want to be their friends because it's an irritating characteristic. Doesn't mean we can't be friends. And this is not me talking about gay men. I am talking about effeminate men. I have two gay friends. I mean, I have two gay friends who are not effeminate at all. They just happen to be gay men. So if my son was kind of becoming that way, like a little bit soft, if you will, because I think a young man does have to be raised with a bit of an edge, because the world is fucking tough, man. People, that's why sports are so important to me for a young guy. For a young man, sports are really important. Get your ass chewed out by a grown man, a coach. Be told by someone other than your parents or teachers who you so easily tune out. Be told by somebody, that you're being a jerk, that you're being an asshole. I don't know. So I feel like I dodged a bullet. My son naturally, without any of that overgrown masculine energy being forced on him, he seems to have grown up to be just a normal boy. He likes dude things. He likes boobs. He likes sports. He likes watching things explode. So, okay. And the important thing, long story short, is that he's not one of these young men that we see that have overtaken the internet who are obsessed with somehow showing the world that they are masculine. If you've got to do that, you are not masculine. Okay? It should just come across. Now, why am I so enthralled with this? Why did this stupid headline about dudes shaving their eyelashes to look more masculine, which I don't even know how that's a thing. I refuse to click on this story. Why am I even talking about it if I'm not even going to click on the story? Because you guys, Netflix has this new show, The Liver King. Have you seen this bullshit? It's not a new show. It's a documentary. I think it's part of the Untold series. Untold, The Liver King. Now, of course, I know who The Liver King is because I'm online and I've seen this fool for years. The Liver King is some gigantic muscle-bound freak who has made hundreds of millions of dollars off of morons who are effeminate little cucks who are worried that they aren't alpha enough. So they just direct deposit, $30 a month into this Liver King's account so that they can get whatever product bullshit he's selling, granulated bull testicles. 2 spoonfuls of this powder in your milk in the morning and you'll be... It's one of them bullshit things. So I don't know if you've ever seen this Liver King guy. Well, he turned out to be a total fraud. He made hundreds of millions of dollars. It was a total fraud, making everything up. You gotta live an ancestral lifestyle, brother. Oh, eat raw foods, brother. Like, that was his whole thing. Look at him. He's like a caveman. He's running around in videos on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. He kills an animal and then he rips it open and then he eats its organs right there. And he's like, this is how I live, ancestral. And there's so many of you fucking idiots are like, that guy's cool. And I'm like, what the fuck is cool about that guy? That guy's a dork. The story of the Liver King that you can watch on Netflix. And I'm not giving anything away. This is all new stuff. He was revealed to be a complete fraud. He's a juice monkey spending like $100,000 a month on steroids while he's running around convincing all of you that I did this naturally because I eat goat liver or whatever. Bunch of people, bunch of dudes, man. Just be a regular dude. Just be yourself. Find comfort in who you are. Find comfort in who you are naturally. And if you're awkward, then maybe you got to work on some things. Maybe you got to figure out a way to relate to people better or to at least get some enjoyment out of your interactions with people, even if it is awkward for you. It's difficult being awkward. It's difficult not knowing who you are. It's difficult not understanding what kind of person you are. But once you do, hey, man, enjoy. Be you. People like you for who you are. So stop with the alpha. Yeah, I'm an alpha. You're a dork. Stop it. Stop it. The only time it matters if you're alpha or not is in those very rare moments in life where fists are about to be thrown. That's the only time it matters. If someone is bullying you down, are you alpha enough to knock that motherfucker out? That's it. That's the only situation where you got to be alpha. You don't got to be alpha in the grocery store because somebody cut in line. Shut your mouth and wait your turn. Life ain't fair. That guy's an asshole. Someone will deal with it, not you, Mr. Alpha. I hate this whole alpha movement so much that I'm thinking about shaving my beard. Yeah. Beard and sunglasses is like the alpha uniform. Anyway, Liver King. It's enjoyable. It's the ending is great. The ending is great. To see an asshole completely brought to heel and then like basically like, I'm sorry, I'm the Liver King, I'm sorry. That's so fucking rewarding. So rewarding. Liver King. It's on Netflix. You'll enjoy it. It's good. It's good. Let's see. What else do we have here? All right, let's do a little douche of the day. Want to do a little douche of the day action? Why not? Douche of the day is where we talk about somebody who did something that was really douchey. Did I lose my spot? There I am. And then we give them the title, douche of the day. Here you go. All right, where is it? Nope, don't want that. Nope, don't want that. Nope, don't want that. Let's try this. Nope. Oh, for fuck's sake. I got too many windows open, kids. Too many windows. Do I not? There we go. All right, here we go. Look at this. So this is the kind of thing that happens when you're just trying to save a couple of bucks. I feel sorry for these people. I don't think that they're bad people, but this was a pretty douchey decision. And where is it, for crying out loud? There we go. This happened down in Houston today. Guy broke down on the side of the road. He called a friend. He said, man, you need to come get me here. And a friend came and got him. Friend is not a professional tow truck operator. No, he isn't. Just a friend with a tow line. So he shows up, pulls over on the side of the road, hooks up the broken down car to his car, and he starts pulling away. Now, apparently at some point in this process, the broken down car had a broken axle. The axle broke. So what that means is, well, watch. This is what happens when non-professionals try and tow. Oh, jeez. Oh, look at that. It's all over the road. Hey, look at this guy right here. This guy's like, change lanes, dude. Get out of that lane. Get off. Why isn't this guy at least getting off? It looks like he's heading for the open highway. Look at this thing.
Yeah, what did somebody have for lunch today?
All right, there you go. That's today's douche of the day. Comes to us down there in Houston. Our brothers and sisters down there having some fun. That is just call a tow truck, okay? Just after it started fishtailing like that, why didn't the driver just go, okay, this is untenable. We need to pull over. We need to get a flatbed or something because this thing is not towable in this condition. No, they didn't do that. They changed lanes and head for the open highway. Why not? They're probably thinking it's only 3 exits. Can we make it 3 exits? I know this is bad, but 3 exits. Let's white knuckle it. All right. Let me see here. So I have here, let's do this. We got a death. We got a death to report. We got a death. This one sucks. This death sucks. They all suck, I guess, if you like the people. Ladies and gentlemen, dead at the age of 89 years old, the great Joe Don Baker. Joe Don Baker. You guys remember Joe Don Baker? You guys ever seen Walking Tall? Buford Pusser. He's the original. Bo Swenson would, I think, take over the role of, but nope, that ain't it. Bo Swenson would take over the role of Buford Pusser in the Walking Tall movies. Where is it? Come on. No, that's not it. No, we have pictures. Yeah, here we go. Just so you guys know who he is. Because as soon as you see Joe Don Baker, you're going to be like, oh, that guy's awesome. He's dead. And I'm going to be like, yeah, sadly, he's dead. Here he is, the great Joe Don Baker. He always played a tough guy. A lot of times he would play a Southern sheriff. Here's the thing. You didn't fuck with old Joe Don Baker. Sometimes he played bad guys. He was in all kinds of TV shows. Like if you watch old 70s TV shows, well, like right here. We've seen a picture of it right now. He's all over it. Joe Don Baker, dead at 89 years old. He is he's a cool-ass actor, man. Joe Don Baker. Let's show one Joe Don Baker scene, because this is my favorite movie that Joe Don Baker was in. Joe Don Baker was in The Natural. You ever seen The Natural? A lot of people will tell you that The Natural is the greatest baseball movie ever made. I would tell those people to shut the fuck up because they don't know what they're talking about. The Natural is not the best baseball movie ever made. The Natural is a great movie, but it's not a baseball movie. I hate this, because I love baseball. There are a lot of great movies written and filmed about baseball, okay? Field of Dreams isn't one. Field of Dreams, that's the best baseball movie. It's not a baseball movie, dude. Field of Dreams is a movie about a father and son. It's set against the backdrop of baseball and the bond that baseball provides between fathers and sons, but it's not a baseball movie. Major League is a baseball movie, okay? Field of Dreams is not a baseball movie. It is a movie about relationships that is set against the backdrop of the mythology of baseball. All right, there you go. How about The Natural? The Natural is not a baseball movie either. Again, it's the story of a guy. It's a good story. It is more set in baseball than Field of Dreams, but it's still not a baseball movie. No. Major League, the aforementioned, that's a great one. But the two best baseball movies both star Kevin Costner. The best baseball movie ever made is a movie that nobody ever saw. But it was a great Kevin Costner film, and it's the best baseball movie ever made. It's a film called For Love of the Game. It's tremendous. If you love baseball, that movie is about the love of baseball. Kevin Costner plays a pitcher in his last start after a Hall of Fame career. And the entire movie takes place over the course of one game, his final game. And he's on the mound, and it starts in the first inning, and as the players from the other team come up and he battles them one player at a time, he has these memories about his career, and much of the film takes place in flashbacks as he's trying to focus on getting this next batter. It's great. It is terrific. John C. Reilly as the catcher. For Love of the Game, for my money, is the best baseball movie ever made. The second is Bull Durham. Bull Durham, also Kevin Costner. But The Natural is not. The Natural is just, The Natural, you're just going to have to be happy being a really fucking great movie. Like a really good movie. So anyway, Joe Don Baker, who died at the age of 89, I will always remember him for his role in The Natural, where he played Babe Ruth. He essentially played Babe Ruth. He played a character called the Whammer. And the Whammer was the greatest hitter in baseball. This is, again, the film The Natural. The Natural is the story of Roy Hobbs, played by Robert Redford, who was a guy who was unnatural at baseball. He was really good at everything, and he was unknown, and he wasn't a professional player. But during a barnstorming tour, the Whammer, played by Joe Don Baker, who died today at the age of 89. During a barnstorming tour, the Whammer meets Roy Hobbs, and a challenge is thrown down. Roy Hobbs, this unknown farm dude, says, "I can strike you out, Whammer." And the Whammer says, "Well, let's go, son." Now, remember, the Whammer is playing Babe Ruth. They don't call him Babe Ruth, but Joe Don Baker is playing Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth himself, in the baseball mythology, had a situation exactly like this, where he went barnstorming and he got struck out by some kid at some fairgrounds in the middle of somewhere. Anyway, here it is. The great Joe Don Baker plays the Whammer going up against the unknown greatest hitter in baseball, barnstorming, got a couple beers in him. Some dude starts running his mouth. "I could strike you out, Whammer." That dude is Roy Hobbs, played by Robert Redford. And this is that. Oh, Whammer. Joe Don Baker, dead at the age of 89 years old. Okay, now let's, sometimes on this show, we like to do a segment that I call People Are the Worst. Well, to balance that out, I thought maybe we could do something I mentioned a couple of days ago. I said I saw this video. I've been meaning to show it, but I just never really had time for it. How about a new segment? People Are Awesome. All right, this is a People Are Awesome video. This is a fun little video that we're going to watch. I mentioned this the other day in context of certain things like my son can't do. Like my son is 16 years old. He's National Honor Society. He's one of the sixth in his class in his high school, which is like one of the biggest high schools in America. So he's not stupid, right? We know this. He's not stupid. But he can't write in cursive. He's never been taught how to write in cursive. He also can't look at a clock that isn't a digital clock and tell you what time it is. So like a wristwatch with the hands, no fucking clue. He's like, hey, I'm sorry. I just wasn't taught that. So the other day I was telling that story here on the show, and I mentioned that I saw this video. So here's the video I wanted to show you. This is People Are Awesome. This is a parent who sat their daughter down. I think she's probably about, I don't know, 14, 15. She might be my son's age. She's adorable. This video only works because this girl is so pleasant. It's just such a cute little, friendly little girl. Anyway, this is a parent asking their child, what is this? 90s questions? Yeah. Asking my 13-year-old if she knows things from the 90s. So here, let's watch this. This will make you feel old, but also it's pretty cute. I don't know. It's kind of sweet. Here we go. People are awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. What are the yellow pages?
Paper.
Paper?
Paper.
Can you be more specific?
The yellow pages?
Yeah, what are the yellow pages? Do you know?
No.
Okay. What is a Rolodex?
Ooh,
A
Rolodex.
Rolex?
Rolodex.
Rolodex. That sounds like a piece of tape.
Tape.
It's not a piece of tape.
Not tape.
Any other ideas?
A car?
A car? Okay.
Did I get that right?
No.
Oh,
What does it mean if I were to say I was going to burn a CD?
You love it to death. You hate it.
What is a collect call?
collect call.
A what?
Collect call.
Where a lot of people are on one line,
No, sweetie.
right?
No.
No? Do you know what Sega is?
Sega?
Sega. S-E-G-A. Do you know what that is?
Is that slang?
Is it
Or is
slang?
it a thing?
No, it's a thing.
So this was strange to me because I guess I didn't realize that Sega wasn't a thing anymore. Sega game systems. The whole world just Xbox and Nintendo now. I didn't know that Sega wasn't a thing.
Do you know what Sega is? It's what Sonic the Hedgehog was on. Initially, it was a gaming system.
That's a bad name for a gaming system.
It is not a bad name for a gaming system. Sega's a fucking Nintendo. Come on. Sega's fine. It's a bad name. But it does, see, it sounds like a bad name because it didn't stand the test of time.
Okay, do you know what dial-up is?
Dial-up.
Kind of sounds like Dab Me Up.
It's not Dab Me Up, bro.
Like, wait, it's what? What's the thing?
Do you know what dial-up is?
That sounds like a disease.
Uh-huh. It was.
It's not a disease. Dial-up is not a disease. Okay. If I were to say be kind, rewind, do you know what that means?
Oh! Be kind, rewind.
Kind and let it be.
Wait, what did you think it was?
Be kind and let it be.
Be kind and let it be. There you go.
I don't know. Be kind and be chill.
Do you know what Blockbuster is?
I know what that is.
What?
Isn't it that store? Like, we watched a documentary on this. It's like,
Okay, she watched a documentary with her mom and dad about Blockbuster. So she knows what Blockbuster is.
I heard that store that's like sells all the CDs. It's kind of like a library, but
Blockbuster is kind of like, it is kind of like a library. No, you know what? That's fair. If you were to drop an alien down here and they would, yeah, it's kind of like a library. It's a collection of things that you could check out temporarily.
with CDs.
Not CDs.
How the hell does she know what a library is? Are libraries still things? I would assume libraries would have gone long before Blockbuster.
Games.
It was a movie rental place.
Kind of like a Redbox.
Okay, she knows Redbox. Because there's still, from time to time, you still see a Redbox. And I wonder, who is still using?
Exactly.
Yeah, we watched a documentary on that.
And you still thought it was CDs.
She's all proud of herself. She still wants credit for sitting and watching a documentary with her parents. And she's like, I remember I got credit for that. I watched something that you wanted to watch.
It's so ridiculous.
All right. Isn't that cute? That's cute. People are awesome. All right. I'm done. We're done. This is done. Don't forget, we will be recording a brand new Diddy or Didn't He, a full breakdown. The trial's about to end. 3 minutes. They've been shutting down at about 4 o'clock our time. I don't know. It might go longer. We'll see. Anyway, I'm going to now dive into everything that I've missed. I'm going to write it all up, and then I shall be recording the next edition, day 4 of Diddy or Didn't He. Again, tonight's just going to be me. Tomorrow, it's just going to be me. Monday, full panel show, and then we'll start rolling in some other guests as these shows continue. Again, we're going to be doing these shows every day until the trial is over. And I'm telling you right now, I am not seeing a conviction in the cards. Now, it's early. It's very early. I am not. This is the prosecution's part of this whole trial. I am not seeing a conviction. We'll see. All right. Thank you to everybody. Thank you to all the folks who were hanging out with us today. Like, follow, subscribe, do all of that kind of stuff. And I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, again, another 2 o'clock show. We're doing 2 o'clock shows from now on, just for a while. We're going to try it out, see if we can establish some kind of a groove here. Don't know if it's better or worse for you. I'm sorry if it's inconvenienced any of you, but, we got to try something. We got to change things up. I love you guys. Bye. Huh?